Hello and welcome to Fin Business. India is leading the race in fintech market, but it's very important to understand why India is leading the race, how the valuations of fintechs are done, and what kind of developments happening specifically into the fintech market of India. And today we have with us Sanjay Mehta, who's an angel investor who has pumped in a lot of capital into many fintechs, and he's going to tell us how exactly the fintech market is emerging in the country. Sanjay, thank you so much for talking to Fin Business.
Thanks, Amol, for having me here.
How the valuations of fintechs are done in India and globally?
If you look into the whole fintech space, the complete BFSI, uh, the whole system has been driven by conventional way of methods which has been working since over a century.
Right.
With internet, we just started having incremental changes in customer service, with internet banking, but still there were not major disruption. Banking remained the same vanilla product, insurance remained the same vanilla product. With lot of new age companies in the fintech world, they are starting to challenge the existing incumbents with the disruption which has not been seen before. And that's where the new opportunity, new categories are getting created. We had never heard about, for example, peer-to-peer lending. We had never heard about wallets, and suddenly now those are becoming a daily buzzwords with every consumer in their lifeline.
Absolutely.
So these are new markets which are getting created, and most of the existing BFSI players are still struggling to figure out what's happening really in the startup world. They've started engaging with entrepreneurs closely, but still there is a huge amount of gap between what is supposed to be done and what is being done across. And hence, for an investor, this is a greenfield area where we are able to create value by giving the growth capital to entrepreneurs and creating the right opportunities so that those markets can be created and those startups can take those pole positions with help of capital.
Okay, so 2 points I will pick it. One is opportunity and second is capital. Yes, there are opportunities because even if you look at, like you likely mentioned, that the insurance penetration, which is not more than 8%, we still have how the population doesn't have bank accounts. Now, the government schemes like PMJDY and other insurance policies are bringing those people into the umbrella of banking. But do you really believe that the opportunities are such that capital infusion will not be an issue for an angel investor like you?
For an angel investors, we always invest into companies where we see there is a large alpha to be created with the capital infusion what we can do across. When we invest with a perspective of validated product, a good founding team, and then we give that capital to ensure that they create a right product market fit. As soon as they find the right product market fit, we are able to get the next round of funding. And today VCs are extremely open to look at fintech deals so that the next round of fundings are possible. If you look into the last possible year, I would say across fintech has taken almost like 40% of the capital from the market in terms of fintech startups are taking attention.
So then, what are the areas where VCs actually focus on? What are the parameters for investors to look into the fintech? Because at the end of the day, you are an investor, you have to make money. So what is that ROI model that is in your mind?
Typically, any investor would look at three possible exits. One, which is going to be a financial exit, which means that a larger VC or a private equity player will do a buying of my shares. The second one is where corporate acquisitions are being done across. And the last one is acqui-hire, where you at least recover your capital. So these are primarily three possibilities. In India, IPOs are also a possibility for few of the startups which has now turned profitable.
Right.
While I wouldn't say majority of startups are IPO grade, but still there are startups who are having now a possibility of creating an IPO. And this is the fourth and the best exit what a VC or an investor can have across. So these are the possibilities of an outcome which we can see across. In terms of before investing, what do we look into it?
Yeah.
Is it the large market size? So if the addressable opportunity is very small, then we don't invest.
Right.
Secondly, do the founders have the required domain expertise to deliver on this, be it in the business side of it, technical side of it. Is it a complete team? And once we see that complete team, maybe ex-bankers, somebody who has worked in the space, has understood how things work in the whole platform, then we engage. And lastly, what are the terms of engagement, right? What is the deal, right? Unless we enter at a lower valuation, then we make a great alpha. So idea is, what are the deal terms? At the right price, we would be keen to enter into the deals.
According to your observations and whatever experience that you have, how many fintechs actually break even? How many fintechs actually make profits? Or do they even break even, or they get just break in the system?
For me as an investor, I value profits, but that is not my barometer of success.
Okay.
My barometer of success is, can this company continuously raise next round of money? Can they scale rapidly? Are they having that sheer velocity to ship out more products? Are they in a hyper mode growth? And is this business model non-linear?
Okay.
Anything which is non-linear will attract us. While profitability, yes, is something which we look at it, but not for the initial 3 or 5 years. For initial 3 or 5 years, we would like company to focus continuously to build new products, new markets, get into the new areas. It's not a, so if the guys are going to look into very organic way or a linear way of growth, that are not the companies we will invest.
But if you look at the fintech market, I don't want to talk more about global, but if you look at specifically India, we follow one trend. So in last couple of years, we saw many wallets coming into the picture, many fintechs operating specifically into payment. Now suddenly the focus has shifted to lending, and we are seeing a lot of fintechs coming into the lending market. So what are the areas which are specifically important or lucrative for investors like you?
I'll just take my personal call. I don't go after areas or sector and then find companies. I look into companies into the space, and if I find that there is an opportunity, even if he is a little latecomer into that space, I will invest into that company if I find the founder has a value proposition which is worth investing. So I don't chase sectors. First and foremost, what I would look into a startup is purely whether there is an unfair advantage, which means that can he command entry barrier where nobody else can enter? Does he have a differentiator? And how well the founder is able to create a moat around himself so that nobody else can enter into that space. So that is where it takes my attention before investing.
So again, I would like to take a quick question on what you said some time back. So what is the profitable ratio? What is the break-even ratio? Because we have more than 1,000 fintechs operating in country, according to your experience.
I would be scared if people are looking at profits. Startups who start looking at profits from day one, I would be scared to invest. I would like startups to be investment hungry. I would like startup to be resource hungry. They have to consume large amount of capital, and if they don't consume, investors don't make money. So for us, we are looking for those startups who are able to use growth capital and grow non-linearly. So again, coming back to what you were asking in terms of profitability, I'm not a great fan of profitability. Just to add that last line or conclude that, I am a more believer of speed of growth than profitability.
So when I say, or when we look at number of fintechs rising in India, is there any parameter to see that, in terms of valuation, in terms of numbers, that how far are we from top 10 fintechs in the world?
We have just started scratching the surface. We are at nascent stage. As the internet penetration, the mobile penetration, smartphone penetration will grow. I think possibly we can start claiming that space sometime after 2020. I think we are just 3 years away. Possibly after that, I think by 2025, possibly top 5 slots will be for India.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, because we have got volumes. We have got consumers. We can create large volumes of transactions. But it will take time.
But the question is, there are high chances of consolidation. There are high chances that perhaps they will not survive.
It's a continuous process. That's the nature of this whole business of startup or entrepreneurship or VC investment is all about to fail fast, right? To try, if you succeed. So if you open up any sector, when it starts booming, as you said, across, let's say, peer-to-peer lending,
Yes, yes.
that would be having across 200, 500 startups. For investors, typically 2 or 3 startups will take those pole positions, whereby they will become the leader. Rest will be in a living dead situation, or might fail or fold up into those leaders. And we have seen that in e-commerce space, we have seen that in ride-sharing taxi case.
True.
Everywhere, typically you will always have 2 or 3 brands or companies which will take those pole positions, and the rest of the startups which were there either merge into it, consolidate, or fold up.
Going ahead, do you believe that fintechs will become as big as banks? Because if you look at few fintechs or few payment companies now which started as a fintech are as big as a bank, mid-level bank. So there is a scope. In fact, even many global banks believe that perhaps fintechs will take over them. So do you see that trends happening in India, that fintechs will be as large as banks?
I don't think so. Any Indian fintech company has that capability to turn themselves into a bank. Not in couple of 2 to 3 years time. Maybe by 2025 somebody would emerge across, but not in near future. I see any fintech turning themselves into a bank. But what I definitely see across is global blockchain companies,
Right.
which will come and disrupt in India, and it's just waiting to happen. And those banks which are based on the blockchain-based decentralized platform are just going to take a lot of the business globally.
Great. So thank you so much, Sanjay. On that note, it was really interesting talking to you.
Sure.
And thank you so much for watching.